I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. To Modern Escapism. My name is Oodles, cult classic podcast host with tens of fans champing at the bit to meet me. Joining me today, like Sega's columns to my Tetris, it's Stig.
Everyone relax. I'm here.
Stig's here.
That's a cult classic quote.
It is. They're worms, Michael. They're worms. It's Gadget.
Oh, the worms. The worms.
We can't stop here. This is Backcountry. It's Candy.
Hello.
And straight out of the films such as Dr. Buttlove or How I Learned to Stop Clenching and Love the Plug, Ace Ventura, Crack Detective, Schindler's Fist, and Meet Joe's Black Cock, it's Biggie.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
And as a special treat, we have another special guest this week, courtesy of the cult leader and cult film aficionado from the cult following podcast, Cult Connections. It's Ian Graham.
Thanks very much, guys. Just big me up. I've been biggied up for a fall, I think, on this one. Oh dear.
Expert podcaster Ian is here with us today. He knows everything about the tech. Everything. Expert. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. I am good. And as you say, expert podcaster. I cannot believe I have made over 100 episodes.
I can't.
While knowing absolutely nothing about how to actually make a podcast.
Join the club.
We need a professional on here, to be honest.
It's about bloody time. For people that don't know, who are you, Ian?
So I am Ian Graham. I am the host of Cult Connections, which is a film and their TV podcast, which will sometimes branch off into their books or their music, but mostly film and their TV. And as you might know, it's about cult things, but also about their connections. So how sort of different films and their shows kind of join up. And I like to find lots of obscure stuff or just some nice ways to link up some very diverse films at times. So it's good fun.
It's quite new on my rotation, and I'm bang into it, though. I've listened to quite a few now because I can vivaciously get through podcasts, and I'm glad you exist.
Well, I'm glad I do too. So that is great.
How is everyone else this week? I mean, Stig's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
I was back. I was here last week.
Were you?
It was Candy.
Were you not here?
It was Candy that was off last
Candy
week.
wasn't here. I wasn't
They
on
look
the
so
Patreon.
similar, I can't tell them apart.
I wasn't on
That
the
happens all the
Patreon
time.
episode because we recorded
that's
that
it.
the night before my final exam. So that's it. The exam's done and out the way till November.
Stig's passed his GCSEs.
As long as I've passed them, yeah, that's the other thing. So
I mean,
That's it, you've got to wait.
what we were missing last week was Candy's review of the gamer bed.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it. I remember.
need to
I
remember
remember.
this game
I mean,
bed.
we'll talk about the gamer bed in the Patreon section. I want people to pay for that kind of content. A girl talking about their gamer bed.
That's fair. That's fair.
Nothing
It's
in life
fair.
is free.
Exactly. But we've waited long enough, and it's been a crazy, crazy week for it. It's time for the news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
I'm a biggie girl in a biggie world. Life in podcasting, it's fantastic. You can't brush my hair, you can catch me everywhere. Imagination uses my passion. Come on, biggie, let's go party.
Do you know what?
Sorry,
I would
Ian.
absolutely love a Biggie doll. We need to make those. New merch.
I just apologise to Ian for that. He's not usually like this. In fact, no, he is
No,
always
he's like this
I'm
constantly.
like that every week. It's doing my head in.
Go for the news. News it up, big boy.
PS5 Pro release date reportedly slated for November 2024. Sony will be releasing an upgraded PS5 Pro hardware model, according to a report from Tom Henderson, who successfully leaked PlayStation's hardware plans in the past. The Insider Gaming scribe, this time writing for Key to Gaming, accurately outed the Japanese giant's remote play streaming handheld, Project Q, prior to its official unveiling.
Forgot about that.
So yeah, people ready for a PS5 Pro?
The shocking
really.
news
What's the
that a
point?
console's going to upgrade and bring another one out a good couple of years after the first one came out. What a shock. I'm stunned at this news.
I wonder if they can make it look any worse than the current.
Probably.
Don't tempt them.
I've seen some horrendous
Probably.
looking renders of like what people think it might look like.
Oh, I mean, but that's happened.
Can't be
since
any worse than that
the
Spider-Man
PS2
one. can it?
days.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah, it's happened forever, mate.
I was reading some of the stuff on this, and apparently, like the big thing is it's going to be like consistently aiming for 60 frames at 4K, which is fair enough. But then also targeting 8K. I'm like, who the fuck has an 8K telly?
Right.
I bet some of us listeners do.
I mean, take might.
There'll be definitely one in every room. Next, move on.
Not yet.
No,
I'll get
Not
one.
yet. You'll get one.
how much is an 8K telly?
Oh god, here we go.
So I'm just now very.
It's called 8K because they're worth $8,000.
The cheapest one I can see, Samsung one starting at 1,800 quid.
Ooh, how big is that?
Ah,
That's 75 inch, and that's on sale down from 3,500.
Oh, put me
Every
down
inch
for
Not
one.
bad.
Yeah, you can get,
That's all right,
an
that's all right.
85 inch one for 4,300.
I'm all right.
But
I can have that. I
does,
can keep my car.
yeah, it does look like it's only Samsung making them at the minute, though.
Just buy a monitor, they're cheaper. Next.
Diablo 4's huge patch backlash has prompted damage control chat with Blizzard devs. Blizzard seems to have really kicked the hornet's nest with its latest update. Patch 1.1.0 released just a couple of days ago at the time of writing, and just to say it hasn't gone down well could be a dramatic understatement. Said update makes sweeping changes to the game's balance. Basically, a lot of players who've toiled away at creating the most powerful post-campaign characters feel like they've been punished for no good reason.
He's brought a game that none of us have played to the news.
I mean, that happened with Diablo 3. Like, is anybody surprised? It's not only play the fucking game more. The whole point is to keep constantly playing the game.
I have no idea what any of that meant, but I'm sure it's rare for a community of gamers to be very annoyed at something changing. Very rare. I've never seen that before. Or moviegoers or anything, any fans of anything, then no one ever complains.
Nope.
Especially not on the internet.
No.
Next.
People wouldn't complain on the internet.
No.
Well, speaking of changes, Ubisoft is suspending inactive accounts, disabling access to games libraries. Ubisoft has confirmed it has temporarily suspended accounts it deems inactive, preventing players from getting their games. Players are then sent an email informing them that their suspended account will be deleted in 30 days unless they click the cancel account closure link.
Look
Okay.
at then.
Yeah.
Like,
Take it.
are we going to moan about your account being shut down if you've not used it?
Yeah, if you were actively using it, you'd see it and you'd click it.
Yeah.
Oh god, fucking hell! That was what world.
But you do know, for a fact that like someone won't have used their account for like 6 years,
But
they've
they'll
got that
still cry
email.
when it's gone.
Yeah, got that email and kicked off about it.
I can't believe I've lost
Yeah.
all my Ubisoft stuff. Who gives a fuck?
I've got an
Next.
Ubisoft account. I've never used it. Other than
I've never have, mate. Not once.
Keep an eye out for your email.
I think I only signed up for one to play South Park Fraction Butthole.
Oh yeah, that and Valhalla. Like I think you have to do it.
I'm fine with losing my account.
I'll set up a new one.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do a new one the day after.
I've never bought anything
Next.
directly from Ubisoft, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Neither. Go on.
Xbox fans will be able to play a selection of PlayStation 1 games in the near future, thanks to a new cloud-based service called Antstream Arcade. The service is available now with 2 classic PlayStation 1 games at launch, plus over 1,000 other classic titles from the 80s and 90s.
They're absorbing everything.
Yeah. No reason to buy a PlayStation anymore, really, is there?
No.
Xbox.
You can't
There
even,
was
play,
no
can't
reason.
even play classic games on the PlayStation anyway, can you?
No real reason to buy when it first fucking plays. I want to waste the money that one. Fucking hell. Looking at this fucking £500 ISR right now, what a waste of money you are.
Well, going off that story from, was it last week, about how a lot of games are disappearing, this is better than nothing. Like
I agree.
if something is giving people access to thousands of classic games over a
Don't matter
streaming
where it is, does
service,
it?
Yeah, like it's better than nothing. It's better than just
I agree, mate.
being lost forever.
I think
Or closing down your account.
I think as well, actually, this can be a good thing because like some of the games that they mentioned they're going to be bringing to this one. So, Glover, which has been lost.
Oh, fucking love Glover.
Yeah, that's one of those games that was forever lost unless you have the PS1 disc or the N64 cartridge.
Yeah, I love Glover.
MDK, which I think
Murder, Death, Kill.
Yeah.
Murder, Death, Kill.
I think that's on PC, but yeah, that one was kind of lost for a lot of people. The original version of Worms, so before it was like the cartoonified Worms
Armageddon.
2.
I love the original Worms.
The original Worms is great.
Yeah.
I did.
Also Reloaded, which I think was the sequel to Loaded, which was a shooter, I think.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was good.
But yeah, I mean,
Good.
great. I mean, it's not for Unstream Arcade. It's not very expensive. It's 30 quid a year or 80 quid for a lifetime access. Brilliant. I mean, I'm all for that from like the preservation standpoint.
Yeah, like for me, I'm not gonna play him. It is something that I'm not really that interested in because I barely have time to play modern games. But I just, like Gadget said, for preservation purpose, to have access for people to have access if they want access to it without having to potentially seek out stupidly expensive rare discs and carts and stuff. Yeah, good thing, I think.
What's your thoughts on that, Ian?
I have no thoughts whatsoever.
Don't think he does games.
I'll tell you.
I'm just looking at him. He's like, "What is a game?"
The last game that I properly played, we're probably going back to about 1985. It was
So before I was born.
Okay, fair enough. So, on my Atari ST, I played a Formula One the game called Pole, the Position. It was
Pole Position, I remember
great. I loved it. To be honest, I've never properly played the game since then. So.
Love it.
Fair enough.
It's like, I love this game. I'm never going to get better than it. Just wipe your
It's
hands
peaked.
clean.
Gaming's
Yeah.
peaked.
Gaming peaked at pole
basically,
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I mean, most people would probably agree because gaming's crap.
Yeah.
Mate. It's
From
shite.
that point, it's like ignorance is bliss. If it gets better, I don't care.
Mid.
Excellent. Next,
Ian, you
move
might
on.
want to just double check if you've got a Ubisoft account. Just
Yeah, I will.
You're going to lose it, mate.
over to the world of film and TV.
Let's
Barbie
go.
has become a box office sensation in its first weekend, opening to a staggering $155 million US, while Oppenheimer similarly scored, launching with $80.5 million as of my notes.
I'm chuffed to bits for both of them because it's great for
Yeah.
cinema.
It's
Absolutely great for cinema.
it's also like if you count in the international figures, they've both made back. They're both in profit in their first weekend.
It's great.
Like there's
It's
not
great.
many films that can say that they do that, especially ones that like neither of these films are what you would call like summer blockbusters. You know,
No, they're not.
Right.
they're not like a Marvel tentpole release or anything like that, or like some like the Indiana Jones film or whatever. It's like
Mhm.
it's really impressive and they're done really well. I think it's that kind of the community advertising campaign with the whole Barbenheimer thing that's been going on. It's just like
Yeah.
Pretty good one. That
Well,
was
there's-
really good for the internet to jump onto.
Yeah.
That, and if that doesn't say to studios, like, original films, people want original films. All your sequels,
Who'd have thunk it?
all your sequels are bombing, and the two biggest films of the year are original films. It's like,
Yeah.
And literally
Yeah.
bombing.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
Oh.
Barbie now ranks as the highest launch for a film directed by a woman,
That's
outpacing
good.
Captain Marvel's $153 million, which was co-directed by Anna Boden.
That's really good. That's really good. I mean, I've not seen either of them. I am seeing Oppenheimer on Tuesday. I would have seen it by next episode.
yeah.
I'm going to watch Barbie at home. I'm not that fucked about it, to be
Oh.
honest, but I'm glad. I'm glad it's doing well.
I've seen both.
My ticket sale's not going to do anything.
I've seen both
I've seen
and I
them
love them.
both. Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh. Oppenheimer
Yeah.
is good if you want a really tense, serious like this sort of drama, then absolutely go and
that's
see
what I'm here
that.
for.
Barbie is fantastic. It's my film of the year so far, and you should absolutely go and see it if you can. Loved it.
It's really weird to walk around saying that Barbie is such a good film and like saying like it might be one of the films of the year, because conceptually you explain it to someone and they look at you like you've got two heads, because it's just a fucking weird film, but it's so well done. But I mean,
I saw your TikTok rant about it, Gadget.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. I've
One of his famous rants. Just letting you all know as well, Gadget's TikTok account, if you love Gadget rants, it's there.
Oh, a lot of rants on
right there. It's top quality content, that.
I do need to do one as a rant, because I've been walking around all day with fucking Ken's song stuck in my head and it's doing my head in. But it's a very good song.
He had the best moves. His moves were brilliant.
I mean, yeah, Ryan Gosling runs away with that film. He's so good in it.
It's
He's always been good.
It's like shot up on Spotify as well.
I think because people have seen the movie and now heard the song and are obsessed with it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It's like broken a record.
Do you reckon it's going to overtake Peaches, Peaches, Peaches?
It might.
As the song of the year from films.
I'm already seeing it being.
Fucking song went ballistic.
I'm already seeing it being incorporated into TikTok memes.
And that's where popularity lives. That's good. That's great. Get out to see at least one of them or both if you can. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk out of Oppenheimer and go, so we'll just go into Barbie? That probably will.
Yeah,
slip into Barbie.
I'll probably slip straight into Barbie.
I mean, we'll do full reviews on it next week on the next Nexus show. It's so ridiculous that we started this pattern and the release schedule has fucked us over with this one. But
well, blame Hollywood, not me.
I blame Hollywood for a lot of things.
Yes, excellent. Next,
according to Variety, sorry about this, Gadget, but one film that may be pushed back to next year could be Dune Part 2.
Fuck off. Fuck them. Nah. Just because they don't want to fucking pay their actors or their writers.
Ranting coming.
And it's because of the strike action. They don't want to pay their writers and their actors. And it means they won't get the promotion cycle for Dune. You know, you won't get Timothée Chalamet and everyone kind of wandering around at premieres and
that's
to the
big
press.
Part of it.
Yeah, so they're just going to push it to next year when they think the strike will be over. Nah, fuck them. I want Dune Part 2. They should have fucking made it in the fucking first place.
No, let them strike, mate. This is the kind of casualties you're going to see.
I'm not against the strike. Don't get me wrong. It's the studios. I'm saying just fucking pay people so I can watch me film.
Oh, I agree, but there has to be meaningful casualties to a strike for it to be effective.
Oh, I know, but still.
Well, this would depend on both Warner. This is both due to either Warner and co-producers Legendary Entertainment both agreeing to a new release date, so it's not confirmed yet.
Well, let's see what's happening. Next.
It's a weird one. Academy Award-winning writer and director Kenneth Branagh is reportedly set to adapt the classic 1990s cartoon, the one we've all been asking for, Gargoyles, for a live-action film.
I'm bang up for this.
Amazing.
Fucking loved Gargoyles. I fucking loved it.
I mean,
Goliath.
Couldn't care less.
I mean, Keith David needs to be doing the voice of Goliath.
Yeah, 100%. He could just do it if he does it in the new Ninja Turtles and Spider-Verse style. Let him do an animated one.
Well, they said it's going to be a live action film, so it's either.
No, fuck it. No.
So but
the gargoyles are going to be CGI, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but it's going to fucking look like Michael. It's going to look like Michael Bay's TNMT.
No.
Did you see also, like, I don't know if I'm jumping on your news, Biggie, but did you see that Ryan Reynolds is doing Bike and Mice from Mars as well?
Is he?
No way.
That was one of my fucking favourites. I used to love Bike and Mice from Mars.
That was amazing.
So your favourite? I liked Vinny. Vinny.
Throttle.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was always so annoyed that they split one episode over 5 days on The Big Breakfast.
Oh,
you had to watch it 5
yeah.
minutes at a time.
I was watching The Big Breakfast for Denise Van Outen, not for Bike and Mice. I can tell you that much. Talented and beautiful.
Jonathan Frakes was a voice in Gargoyles as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
I'm Marina Sirtis, actually. That's
Gargoyles were great.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
Really good.
I haven't seen it in years.
It came after like the Batman animated series, and they wanted like darker cartoons, didn't they?
Well, it's the same production company because it's got a lot of the same art style to it. I know it was a Disney show, but it.
Yeah, I think so. But it's basically were really good. It probably doesn't hold up at all nowadays. I remember they had that dog one, that dog gargoyle. So they were all like really sentient, clever beings, and then there was just this dog, like Snarf in Thundercats.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
what
always
is that?
there's always one
What
like
is
that.
Snarf?
Annoying,
What is it?
terrible.
Next.
My choice for pick last week, Andor, but this season 2 is now halted filming with only weeks left due to the studio deciding not to pay actors and writers fairly. Nice.
Oh,
This is going to be
Causing
the
multiple strikes.
week, the news every week.
Yep.
It's going to be one of these every week.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I know it sounds awful, guys, but there has to be meaningful casualties. It's
Yeah,
just
it's fine.
agreed.
it's how it works. It's how it works.
Give me a chance
It's a
to
shame,
catch
though.
up on loads of other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Next.
Speaking of which, Invincible season 2. Yay! Been waiting
That's
a
great
long
news.
time for this.
Yeah.
New episodes are dropping November the 3rd on Prime.
Yeah, bang up for more Invincible. It ended on not so much a cliffhanger, but I wanted more. That's how you do superhero cartoons for people
Yeah.
that grew up with superhero cartoons. It's not for kids.
But also-
It's really good.
Speaking of which, an animated Watchmen movie is releasing next year as well, which I had no idea was coming.
Bang up for that.
Yep.
Have you seen the Mortal Kombat news with Omni-Man?
Yeah, J.K. Simmons done the voice work for it.
It's so good. So J.K. Simmons starring in Mortal Kombat. That's fucking mental.
I mean,
it's mental.
I mean, I guess it makes sense with how bloody Omni-Man tends to leave people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Homelander.
there's Homelander, Peacemaker, and
Yeah.
an Omni-Man.
Omni-Man. Gonna be good. Gonna be good. Next.
Season 5 of The Dragon Prince, The Mystery of Aravos, is coming early. And
Yeah,
actually,
put this
it's
in.
available right now.
I don't know what that is.
I don't
That's
know what that is.
No, no idea.
It's a show I saw it at Comic Con, right? It's a show I watched on Netflix and I really enjoy it. It's a like little kids animated cartoon. Like it's not like serious or anything. It's not like Attack on Titan,
Alright.
bloody and anything, but it's really enjoyable. It's based on a series of books, but the series have been spread apart. Like season 1 and 2, there's like 2 years between. Then there was like another 2 years between, and then the last 2 series we've just had season 4 this last year, and then they've just dumped season 5 out straight away rather than waiting.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Can
I'm
he?
pretty happy with that.
I'm happy for you, mate. I'm dead happy.
It's really
for you.
good. It's really good.
It's kind of what
Mhm.
Netflix did with Disenchantment. Like the first season came out, then there was like nearly 2 years to the second season, and like there just seems to be longer and longer between the seasons on that one.
All I did when I watched Disenchantment, all I wanted was more Futurama. That's all it made me feel.
True. I like
I want
Disenchantment.
more Futurama. That's all I wanted.
I like
Here we go.
Disenchantment up to the last
Tomorrow.
season.
Tomorrow it will be here.
Yes.
New
Yeah,
Futurama.
after 10 years.
Yes, Yes, it fucking will, and I can't wait.
I
How
don't
long
watch it
has
in
it
this
been?
country.
10 years.
Yeah, it has.
10 years, man. 10
hello?
years. The void of comedy cartoons.
Since
That's how
the-
long it's been.
Since the like special movies.
Yeah. Well, because you have the special movies, and you had 2 seasons after that, and then it's been 10 years since them, apparently.
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
You know?
Oh, God. I wonder if they're just going to carry on as if no time's gone, or are they going to actually do it 10 years later?
Oh, it's good, and it's going to be on Disney Plus. Brilliant. So I don't
Disney
have,
Plus, yeah.
well, because I've only seen the US adverts. So it's at Hulu. It's like, well, where the fuck do I watch it?
A lot of stuff that comes on Hulu comes to Disney Plus.
Oh, God, watching that tomorrow.
I can't wait, mate. I can't fucking wait. Anyway, next.
Trouble movie Borderlands is actually releasing 9th of August next year.
Can't wait.
This movie will be starring Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Jamie Lee Curtis, to name a few.
It's going to be absolute dog shit.
It
It's
really
bad.
is.
It's bad. It's in development hell, clearly.
Yeah, and the
Mm.
It was supposed to be out last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
so that
Yeah, because Craig Mazin from who did Last of Us.
so that doesn't bode well.
And
Well,
Eli
he
Roth
said-
didn't come
I
back for
did
the
see
reboot.
the
Do the
reports
games warrant a fucking film?
No,
Yes, but it would have been better as animation, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
the plot. I mean,
Like
the plot,
Arcade.
the plot lines in the games aren't anything to write home about. It's more about the gameplay side of it.
Well,
you
you
know?
don't have to follow the plot lines, just use the characters, don't you?
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like the games aren't known for having a good story, is what I mean.
Watch
You
it.
should
I'll
have a
be
lot of
wrong. It'll be
humour.
a masterpiece.
Hey, if it's a masterpiece, great. But the fact that Craig
Yeah.
Mazin wants his name off it, that doesn't bode well.
And I
Also-
like him.
Also,
Wow.
Kevin Hart playing Roland just that doesn't sit right for me. He's just going to Kevin Hart
Who's
it up.
Roland?
Well, for starters, a tall character.
Kevin Hart is not that.
No. Although Craig
Certainly he's
Mazin
not
did
that.
refer to the report about his name changing. He said, I did see the report about the pseudonym, which is false, he told Variety. I did not use a pseudonym. If the name in question is indeed a pseudonym, I can't even say it.
A pseudonym.
Pseudonym. All I can say is it's
Pseudonym.
not mine.
Oh, so he had nothing to do with it then.
Who knows
Weird.
at this point?
Weird. Who gives a fuck? It's Borderlands. It's crap. Next.
Someone you may have heard of, George R.R. Martin, says he's working on The Winds of Winter almost
No,
every
he's
day.
not.
And he's
No, he's
making
not.
No, he's not.
steady
No, he's
progress.
not.
He has said, not as fast as I would like, certainly not as fast as you would like, but progress
Is he
nonetheless.
fuck? He'll be dead before that comes out. And then someone else will finish it.
Not as fast as he likes. What is he? What is it been now?
10, 12 years? Something like that?
Since the start of the show, wasn't it?
I think it's
I think-
2012.
Well,
That's 11 years.
the last book came out, I think, the year before the TV series started, and that was 2009.
No. Last book was 2011.
All right. So
Yeah.
Still.
13
12
years.
years.
How
12
long did it
years.
take you to write your book, Gadget?
3 months.
There you go. There you go.
I mean,
That's how long it takes, George.
granted, my book wasn't the tome that George R.R. Martin tends to write, but
It's a big enough book.
give me a year and I could write one that long at that pace.
I reckon you should write it. Fuck
Chap-
it. Fuck him off.
Chap-
You just start doing it.
Just get home from work, chapter a night, easy. What are you doing, George?
You do that Stephen King thing where you sniff a line of cocaine and do like 4 chapters in an evening.
Have you not seen that like an audience with thing where it's George R.R. Martin interviewing Stephen King, and
Yeah.
and he asked him, "How do you write books so quickly?" And there's this look in Stephen King's eyes, just like cocaine.
But he didn't say it. But
Didn't
he
say
didn't
it.
say it. He wanted to.
But I mean,
Next.
Stephen King has the same philosophy that I have. He would just write 3,000 words a day. It doesn't matter whether they're good or bad. He would just write them.
I
It'll
actually,
finish, won't it?
George R. R. Martin had said recently as well that he killed a character off that he wished he hadn't done because he's worked himself into a bit of a roadblock with it. So it was like a character earlier on, and he's kind of trying to figure out how to sort it out.
It's not Ned Stark, is it? Fuck's sake.
no.
It's a bit early on that one. I'm like, shit, I've killed him so fucking quick.
I mean, spoiler alert, he brought people back from the dead in the books, so...
He did. Catelyn Stark, didn't he?
Yeah,
it's not like-
Lady Stoneheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking idiot. That'll never come to us. We will never see that book in our lifetimes. It'll get written by someone else.
See, this is
Later
what
on.
I've said already, like to you before, why I read ones that are already... There might be 10 books long, but at least finished. At least I know I'm going to get an ending. I keep saying I'm sat here on 3 massive series of books. with
You
no
put me
fucking-
onto 2 series that don't have new books coming out.
Yeah.
Fucking Gentleman
He's an
Bastards,
enabler.
and I've started the Kingkiller Chronicles. And it's like, and he's going, oh yeah, you're going to have a fucking blue balls at the end of the second King Chronicles book. It's like, oh, cheers, Stig. You fucking got me onto that one.
I told you this before you started.
He's a
It's your
dick.
fault.
I know,
He's a dick.
I know, but you've been fucking pushing that one like drugs for weeks.
Yeah, because
Come on, book nerds, shut up. Let's move on.
Yeah, but you've
Because you
realised
can't read.
But you've
read.
realised already how good it is. So
Move on. Next.
Twitter owner Elon Musk says he wants to get rid of the Twitter bird logo and replace it with an X.
he was
I love this next bit.
up late one night having a shit, just tweeting stuff funny. That's what he was doing. Who cares? What a dick.
And they
It
refer
just-
to him as, however, Mr. Musk, which sounds like a deodorant, also has a history of making statements that fail to happen or are not serious.
Has he got full control over Twitter, or is there a board?
No, he owns it outright, and it's taken it private, so there's no shareholders anymore.
So he could literally just have an X then. That make no sense. It makes no sense. It's Twitter. Tweeting bird.
So
Because
he wants
thinks
He can
that
change
X
it
is
to
cool.
cock
Do
and
you
balls if
remember,
he
like
wanted
in the 2000s, where everything had an X? They take an X and put it where an S should be.
Didn't he name his kid a mathematical equation as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he thinks that X is cool. He still thinks that
he's got
like,
a very 2001
Yeah.
ethos, hasn't he?
yeah.
I'm so glad X
Wow.
gonna give it to you at the end of this. But he wants to turn Twitter into like a super app where it has everything in there. So a little bit like Facebook tried to do and then did poorly and then everything got worse. Or, it's like, it's not, he wants to make it like a one-stop shop for everything that your entire online existence is on X.
I've got a better idea for a social media platform. Do you know why you've got like Just Eat and Food Hub and stuff?
Yeah.
Turn that into a social media as well. You can all talk about your takeaways.
No,
Come
I don't
on.
want to talk to random people about their shitty takeaway food.
You do.
What about when
what
the racists get on there and start like abusing
Just
like
8.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
The racists aren't allowed on.
They say that on Twitter and Facebook. They still fucking get on there.
Yeah, but the racist runs the fucking platform.
Hey!
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Sorry.
No, he is a racist. He's the son of
Yeah,
a South
confirmed.
African
Said it.
emerald miner.
Yeah. Next.
Over to the weird world web. Are you ready for this? Whew.
No.
A Ukrainian refugee who ran off with a love rat Brit dad and allegedly bit a cop has arrived at court after a judge issued a warrant for her arrest.
That's a sentence.
Sophia Carcadium, 23, showed up 24 hours after failing to appear at Bradford Crown Court charged with assaulting the officer. With her blonde hair tied up, she wore black leather trousers, black jacket, white shirt and white trainers. As she entered the court while talking on the phone, she gave a press photographer the finger and then she lit a cigarette before entering the court building.
Yes. I love her already.
Cool, I like her.
The full story of this woman is insane.
I've got it here.
Yeah. You go through it then. Go on.
How long is
It
it?
followed
It's fun.
It followed an alleged incident when police were called to ex-Tony Garnett's home while Sophia collected her belongings. The Ukrainian refugee hit the headlines last year after getting together with this love rat. The love rat dad, who left his partner for a Ukrainian refugee, has been arrested over an abuse-hurling domestic. Tony Garnett was escorted out of his house in cuffs and spent the night in a West Yorkshire cell after neighbours heard screaming.
I mean,
The
this is
30-year-old
fucking
says
fun.
that Sophia got into a verbal fight about him. How dare he put his daughters first before 8 police officers stormed into the Bradford home. The pair got together just 10 days after he and his partner of 10 years, Lorna, welcomed the refugee into the home they shared with their 2 children.
So
She was left heartbroken.
Yeah. So they took a refugee in. She basically got him to leave his family. And then actually she'd fucked off with some of his money, which meant he had to go crawling back to his missus. And then he fucked her off again to go back with the Ukrainian. It was just
I might get one of them Ukrainian
the
refugees.
story's been going on like every few months, like several months. There's a new story about this woman and this man and what's happened.
Is she fit?
Not really.
No. Waste of time.
Bloody hell.
Well, Lorna previously told The Sun on Sunday Sophia would wear
The Sun.
low-cut tops and makeup to
Ooh.
impress Tony.
The strumpet.
The great tabloid newspaper, The Sun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, even worse, The Sun on Sunday, which is all the news of the world, people.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, even worse. Oh, I still can't believe people buy newspapers. Anyway, is that the news?
That's it, mate.
Fantastic. We are now going to move on to our patron-produced topic this week. It's a great one. What choices did they have? Stick, can you remember?
Favorite cult classics, ultimate reboots. We reboot something that hasn't been done before. Bad reviews you don't get, and favorite game franchises. Unsurprisingly, the cult classic one won.
How did that happen?
I think it's a fix. I think Ian's been like threatening people.
Oh man, it's a full-on fix. The last 2 ones in there, I was just like, I'm just going to throw these in there. Ian said,
This is collusion.
He said, "Thank God it wasn't a gaming one." I went, "Yeah, no one was going to pick that one. I just threw it in there because we needed like."
So yeah, we're going to talk about cult classics. It could be films, books, games, mainly films, because that's how I know what a cult classic is usually. But we're just going to do a round table, as we usually do, and chatter about stuff. And I want to know, straight off the bat, Ian, bring them cult classics. As the master of cult, the cult leader, some would say.
Total cult.
Oh, no pressure. I think as I've gone on, actually, so doing my show, and I think what I've realised is that we're less cult and probably more the sort of connections part, dare I say it, because everybody's idea of what a cult their classic is probably very, very different. and people will probably mention certain films, and I'll be like, "Cult? No, I don't think so. That was a mainstream hit, etc."
Yeah.
I think definitely age plays a part in it as well. But also for me, and one thing that I do quite like about my show is that I've started going down a lot more obscure avenues than I ever thought I would, and actually finding some really good, films, mostly films, out there which I would never have watched, and it's the people who actually come on. So I have a different guest every week, and when they bring things on, and it's been an excellent their journey for me. However, I have picked 3 things because again that is a theme for my show, is generally 3.
Yeah.
So I have picked a film and the TV show, and probably to my embarrassment, I have picked an album.
I thought you were going to pick the game pole position.
That was a big hit. That was huge at the time. So film-wise, actually, I've gone for one of my favourite Italian their directors, but it is definitely a cult, their classic. So it's 1967's comic book film, actually. So it's Danger, the Diabolic, which was directed by Mario Bava, and it's a really weird sort of action, their crime sort of film. It's very 60s. It's very swinging 60s.
Oh, and I've just IMDb'd it. I know this film.
It's a great film. It really is. So
yes. Oh fuck! Is it Italian then? Yeah.
It is. It is an Italian film. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh wow! John Philip Law. Yeah. I know this film.
Yep. So they're kinky. Their leather outfits. They're a groovy score. Their Ennio Morricone does a score. It's a bit Bond-like in sort of places, but it's
more Austin Powers like
as well. It's a great film, and I love it, and I think everyone should actually watch it because it's got everything you want.
Oh, I'm looking at the DVD, the back of the DVD, the special feature. You probably won't see it, but he's laid on a bed with a broad. There it is.
Just add that to my watch list. Yeah, I love this. This
looks great, doesn't
cover art here. Yeah, he's got the cover art is so he's there holding. It's him, and he's holding a blonde woman. He's got a gun through her hair.
He's got his finger on a tit.
And he's got his hand over her breast, and underneath his hand and over her breast is loads of money. Like on this one on Letterboxd. It looks brilliant. Is that a flamethrower?
Sounds like my Friday night. That
gun he's shooting there.
Yeah, he's got a little MP5 thing. It's fantastic.
What's that thing? What's that thing he's shooting? What's his
little gun in it?
Like
little
at the
machine
bottom,
gun,
like a flamethrower or something at the bottom.
Oh yeah, he's got a flamethrower. All right,
Awesome.
Gunge gun.
Gunge gun. It looks great. just
shooting the fascists.
Just the cover art alone.
It looks incredible, mate. It looks incredible. When did you first watch this?
Oh gosh, I think when I got the DVD, back in the 90s maybe, there for my first watch, and they covered it for the show as well. So they did a Mario Bava episode, and it's he's a brilliant filmmaker, and but I just it's a fantastic film. It's a comic book. It's groovy 60s. It's it's got it all. It's just
I do like the byline on the poster. It sounds like Biggie's life. Meet Diabolic, slick, suave, gentle, brutal, wild, out for all he can take, caress, or get away with.
I think I need to sue them, actually.
Back when men were men.
Getting away with shit.
And what's interesting, I think from a cult the perspective, so the Danger Diabolic in the Italy, that's a big thing. So their comic strip, and it's gone on there for ages. There have been some more recent films and all kinds of other stuff, but obviously over here it's not really that well known. So I like that aspect of it, that different parts of the world have these great things and we don't really know about them.
Excellent. What's your other one?
So for my TV show, I've actually gone for something that was a big hit at the time, or was certainly well watched, but it's quite old, so
forgotten to time.
Yeah, in a way. So I've gone for 1976's Survivors, which is a post-apocalyptic drama made by the BBC. So 1970s BBC. So it's quite their sort of middle their class, but it's about a man-made Chinese virus that that escapes from the lab, spreads worldwide, and kills 99.8% of the population. So, and it's all about their survivors.
He looks very Doctor Who on the poster.
Did in the show do like loads of podcasts spring up from it?
Yeah, load.
But it's if you get past its mid-70s sort of BBC, their sort of middle classness, it's actually, there's some really powerful their drama in it, and it's a great show. It's bleak, but it shows how
its rating's fantastic. 8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
massive
because it's great. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
But I think as well, so as it gets its this sort of culthood, it's because at the time you would watch it and then you would never see it again. You would never get a chance to see it ever again. And then I think UK Gold showed it in like the early 90s. And then obviously video and things like that. But it's a show that you're gonna look at and sort of pick up and think, oh, I might quite fancy this. But so not huge, but it has a fan base. But it's a brilliant show. I love it.
Bang into that. I'm writing loads on this list here. That's all I've done this for, so I can get all these. Well, there's no films coming out. I can watch all these.
So, Ian, very quickly, do you think it's a bit weird that no one's sort of spoken about this TV show, considering we've just had a pandemic that sounds very similar? I'm surprised no one spoke about it before.
I think
it's forgotten though, isn't it?
It is yeah, in a way it is, or amongst hardcore fans. There was a remake. There was a modern version, but
I've just seen that on IMDb.
Yeah, but it was crap, and no one really watched it. And they didn't,
typical.
So they didn't make more than one their season. Their original Survivors ran for 3 seasons, and all 3 seasons are quite they're sort of different in their own way. So like the story really they sort of develops as it goes on, and it's well worth it.
I've seen the DVD on Zavvi for £1.99.
It's
3 seasons.
Get it, tell you.
I'm gonna
tell you, get it. You will love it. You will love it.
Cool. And your last one?
Oh dear. Well, I'm going to really show myself up here, and any sort of kudos that are built up with these first 2, I'm going to absolutely lose them with this one. So I've gone for an album. It's my album of the week. I've been playing it non-stop all week. Country rock. I don't know. That sounds dreadful, doesn't it? That sounds like an awful genre of their music. Yeah. 1973. So we'd go again. We're going back into the mists of their time. So I have picked the album "Crazy Eyes" by Poco, which is a band.
I know it.
Oh, excellent! Good.
I know this. I know this.
So
yeah.
So funnily enough, now I've been in a right sort of soft rock phase. I've been listening to lots of they're Doobie Brothers and they're Steely Dan.
Yeah,
and
you've
stuff
been
like
going
that.
on about the Doobie Brothers for a
I
while.
have. But I watched their documentary on their Netflix, which was a film of a Dutch music festival from their 1971, and I was watching that, and the Birds were on it, and at that stage they were very much doing that sort of country rock, their sound. So I was like, right, I'm going to listen to a bit of country rock, and I came across this album, and it's just fantastic. It's like the sort of progressive sort of country rock. So
I might be wrong, but is Poco the? I'm probably going to make me show up here. Some of them are in the Eagles, or
one of them, one of them joined the Eagles later. Yeah,
that's it.
That's
how I know them.
But
I'm glad I weren't wrong then.
Shit
myself.
But the title, their track is like a 9-minute country prog epic. It's just, I was like, what is this stuff? This is brilliant, and just love it. And and I really don't like sort of country music at all, but this is super.
I don't think they did much else, did they?
They've got loads of albums on Spotify.
Loads of albums, yeah.
Lots of live albums.
Well, I think they were a band that actually had a big live sort of following, but album sales never really, came from that. So, but this is a cracking album. I love it. So.
And they were going up to 2006.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Get that listened to. Well, great recommendations there, Ian. Let's move on to Mrs. Stuffy Nose Candy.
I've got fucking loads. I'm like the queen of shite cult films.
And stuffy noses.
And stuffy noses. So I've had to kind of like narrow it down a bit.
I said I can't wait to strap on in.
So obviously all Kevin Smith films, particularly the original Clerks, Dogma, and Tusk. I fucking love Tusk.
It's not a cult film. It's just shit.
Yeah, but no, it's got
No.
Objectively, it is shit. But you've got the hardcore.
Kevin Smith has a rabid fan base of stoners.
Exactly.
Objectively, something like Zack Snyder's Justice League is shit. But
and he also, I mean, that could also be called a cult film.
It's not objectively. It is.
Not to me, it's not. So that goes without saying. Early Tim Burton's films, 80s and 90s, Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Big Fish even. Big Fish is good.
You think Big Fish is good?
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Big Fish is not good. Ewan McGregor's Big Fish.
Yeah, Tim Burton's
It's
Big
not
Fish.
good.
I feel like we should just let it go for it, because otherwise we're going to interrupt her just going, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good.
Carry on.
I've only got a certain amount of breath in my body today as well. So I can't even argue. Obviously, my boy Sandler with the kind eyes, Little Nicky, the wedding singer, Happy Gilmore, the Tenacious D movie. I know shit. And their HBO series from the 90s. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, actually. Repo the Genetic Opera.
That is good though.
The musical, but that's got like a hardcore sort of cult following.
Yeah.
And if anyone hasn't seen it, I suggest it does have its moments of cringe. Like Paris Hilton is pretty much, but it's got Ogre in it from Skinny Puppy. It's got a couple of like famous horror actors, and it's got some absolute bangers as well in the soundtrack. Rocky Horror as well. Moving on to more musicals, Rocky Horror, especially the first half. Akira. Akira is my top anime of all time. I absolutely fucking adore it, and especially like for the time it came out as well, early 80s, I think it was. Like just having
it was the first Western breakout hit.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a hit like mainstream. It was people in the know, which kept its cult status all the way through.
Absolutely, it's not like you could just go to the cinema on a Saturday evening and watch Akira.
Come on, Mum, we're going to see Akira.
Oh yes, dear, that sounds lovely. Yeah. Event Horizon as well is another one of mine.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
No, that's definitely a cult film.
It's 100%
the amount of people who don't know Event Horizon.
Was it released after Jurassic Park as well?
Yeah.
So the hero of Jurassic Park suddenly becomes the owl gaijin eye gouging villain in space, Hellraiser in space.
Do you see?
And obviously, me and
So
Sandy will
bad.
have a history.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ex-lover.
we got beef.
Mm-hmm.
Early 2000s Japanese horror films: Ju on the Grudge, Dark Water, The Audition, The Ring.
Yeah.
I spent probably a year of just watching films in my bed, middle of the night, fucking shiting myself. I think The Grudge is the only film I've had to turn off the TV because it scared me so much.
Ringo scared me big style, like too much. I was like, this is fucking. I'm watching a creature come out of the telly on a telly
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah.
And I don't get what anyone said. The remake's nowhere near as fucking
Do you know,
scary as the original.
No.
I still did enjoy the American
I agree.
remake. I thought it was good.
bad.
It just
I
wasn't any good.
enjoyed it. It's just not as good because the Japanese got that suspense better and the scare better and the music were better. And
I think as well, there's a kind of, I mean, we're not brought up with Japanese horror lore and stuff like that. The types of ghosts we're not familiar with. So we've got no kind of defenses against it. You know, we know of our own poltergeists and stuff, but when it comes to something that's just so different, it genuinely...
what they did as well, especially then, the Japanese horror scene, they did cuts that Hollywood wouldn't dare do. They're like really fast, sharp cuts.
Yeah.
Not the cinematography we're used to. It's like, fucking hell, relax, I'm shitting myself here.
That's
Calm
it.
down.
They do all have a sort of independent feel about them, don't they? They're just like really gritty. I love them. Actually, I need to revisit those. Idiocracy as well. Idiocracy, which is fast becoming our daily life now.
It is becoming a reality. It is ridiculous.
It really is. It really
I
is.
just imagine like leaving Tesco's and some cashier saying, "Thanks, I love you. Thanks for shopping at Tesco, love you."
I say it every day.
We're gonna be watering our crops with Prime soon.
Oh God, yeah.
Cheaper than water.
A cult film doesn't have to be a good film. The Room.
No.
I enjoyed The Room. Oh, hi, Mark.
That is definitely cult.
Oh,
as
big
fuck.
time! They have like TV, cinema screenings and everything, and
Every year, don't they?
Yeah. people love
Love
it.
it.
They all throw like American footballs at the screen and stuff. Oh, God, he's throwing that football to his mate.
It's spoons,
What the
isn't
hell
it?
is that?
They all like throw spoons as well, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know, but that scene when he's throwing his football to his mate, Mark, that is not how a human throws a ball.
I'm not
whole
sure that
thing
he is
not how
human.
humans talk. It's just,
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark.
He is a strange
I did
beast,
not
that
hit
man.
her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I
Which
did
is no
not.
one knows anything about him either. Like even now, like he'll show up.
It's like a
and-
Polish bloke, isn't he, or something, and
Yeah,
he
I think
pretends he's French.
Well, he doesn't even admit to being Polish, but he's got all this money and no one knows where it's come from. So, yeah,
Human trafficking.
probably. But I think my top cult film is probably Donnie Darko, and it came out in 2001. So I was about 16, I think, when it came out, and it was the first film I would have never heard. I would have never heard of this film unless one of my American friends told me to go and watch it. And I think I was one of the few people that got to see it at the cinema the first time round. I managed to find a sort of midnight showing and went to see it. And it was the first film that I saw that was, like, I was just starting to branch out into more independent films at that point anyway. And it was the first film that was a real kind of psychological thinker that I took away with me. And I was thinking about it for weeks and thinking about what it could mean. And obviously, like, it blew up eventually because of the song that was used in it. But I think that was like a year down the line.
Yeah, it really was, yeah.
But it launched...
Mad World.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. But it launched the careers of like Jake Gyllenhaal and his sister as well.
Its last great performance from Patrick Swayze.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It was filmed. It takes place over 28 days, and it was filmed in 28 days too. So it has a kind of
It's
natural
great.
flow to
It
it.
holds up really well.
So yeah, there is a Donnie Darko too. We don't talk about it.
I've never seen that, and I don't want to.
I don't think I did.
I'm okay.
But yeah, I just really love and Frank the Bunny as well. Obviously iconic at this point, but not at the time. And yeah, I just love Donnie Darko.
His voice, like, he had an awful voice like that. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Cool. That's your lot then.
It is.
I'll run through mine pretty quick. No real standouts for me. I've got the obvious. The thing is, a lot of mine have gone from cult now and they've come back to being trendy and stuff, which happens all the time with these. I've got They Live, Rowdy Roddy Piper. Absolute stone cold classic. A homage to 50s sci-fi, but with Roddy Piper just being Roddy Piper. And I did the quote at the beginning of the episode. I just think that film's smarter than it thinks it is. It doesn't realise how smart it is, and it holds up really well, even though it looks like shit.
I love
and over in the
fight.
same vein...
No, I was just going to say I love the fight
Go on.
with... Is it Keith David who fights?
Yeah.
In the,
Yeah.
yeah, in the alleyway. They just punch each other full on in the dick, like proper
It's so
going
good.
for it.
Yeah, he could have had such a career, Roddy Piper, in film, but people just didn't latch onto him. Another one of my all-time favourites, and it's still a cult classic, Escape from New York. The introduction to Snake Plissken, one of my all-time favourites, and Kurt Russell's still one of my all-time favourite actors of all time. Every film he's in, I like watching him in it. He's great. Again, mentioning the ultimate cult film that's turned it itself around and become a phenomenon is Rocky Horror Picture Show, like Candy mentioned. That didn't kick off very well when it first came out. It wasn't loved. It had a very select... I watched a documentary about it. A lot of people were like, not kicked out of certain scenes, but they were like saying, "You've done that. You've lowered yourself." You know, like, you know what I mean? And the actors were all just like, no, we believe in this project, and they did it. And look at it today. Tell me a bigger musical than Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think there is one. Not in cinema anyway. I just think it's turned itself around. I've got a few games. This is more for gadget. Remember PsyOps, The Conspiracy?
Yeah.
Midway's game? That was fucking phenomenal. I think it used one of the Mortal Kombat engines, and it just turned it into a third-person PsyOps game, weird, like telekinesis game. Really good. The Suffering, remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. It wasn't the best game, but it was an interesting horror game.
Yeah. And the last of the games I've got is from IO Interactive of Hitman fame, one of my all-time favourites, and it's just lost to obscurity, cult, classic, Freedom Fighters. Fucking love Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters was good.
I mean, people say, "Oh, that's what the Division is now," but nah, the Freedom Fighters had something else. You started off literally taking the piss out of Mario. You started off as a plumber, and by the end, you were Che Guevara in New York. It was so fucking good. And all those games were at the time on PlayStation and Xbox were these AA games. They weren't scared to try new things, and especially Freedom Fighters. I genuinely think that is an amazing game, but no one talks about it. No one's asking for a remake or remaster. I am. I've been asking for it for years.
Yeah,
I think
because no one really remembers it, but yeah, it was a really good game. I really enjoyed it.
It's so good. I bet you could play it on Xbox, couldn't you? Backwards compatible. I might have to buy an Xbox.
I don't think it ever came out on Xbox. I thought it was a PC game. PC and PS2.
PS2, man. Oh, I don't know then. Don't know. It's got to be out there somewhere, hasn't it? It's got to be out there.
I'm sure someone has a copy of it kicking about.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. If you never experienced it, have a look at it. But they're my picks, not nothing major, because again, most of the things I were looking at, because I did a bit of a Google search, a lot of them aren't cult anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The internet has stopped things being cult because it's all out there. But yeah, Stig, what you got?
Well, I just look at it thinking when it comes down to me, what cult films and stuff mean. In my head, it's always something that's old.
Yep. Yeah,
I mean,
that's because it's lost to time. Like
Yeah.
I said,
Guilty.
And so yeah, Biggie's a cult person. Yeah.
'Cause it's so old.
But no, yeah, it's that look and feel of it. So like ones that you've already mentioned, like Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little Chinatown, and I think,
They have got that look, haven't they?
yeah, it's this kind of like old, grungy, dirty kind of look. Things like Street
John
Trash,
Carpenter
and,
look.
yeah, that kind of stuff.
So
like
Biggie, basically.
John Carpenter's
no.
Biggie.
I'd say like the closest.
I'm going to show my age here, guys, because Escape from the New York. I think I was 8 when it came out. That film's contemporary for me. That's not an old film.
Hey, think about
That
this.
came out
Escape from LA
yesterday.
was in the 90s.
Or the Warriors. I fucking love the
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a really good 4K Blu-ray edition of that, and it looks insane. looks genuinely brand new.
Need to rewatch that soon.
Remember when I told you about that Total Recall upscaled one that they did recently?
Yeah.
Fucking, they've done it with the Warriors. It looks insane. It looks like it was filmed yesterday.
It's like, to me, like the closest one recently that was newer, probably be Dread. And that was like...
Dread's pretty... Yeah.
That was over 10
years.
years ago. But for me, it's... When someone... If someone's just said to you cult films, like the first things that come to my head are horrors, 70s and 80s horrors. Instantly, it's the first thing that comes to my head. So for me, it's like the Evil Dead trilogy, like the original three there. Romero's Living Dead trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Because the amount of people who know of that, but I've never
watched them.
Never actually seen them. And I love like how they're all different.
Themed, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, they're all themed. Like, one is about racism, one is about kind of capitalism. And consumerism. And but like each one of those films, like that first three trilogy, are all by him, good. But they're all completely different. But still,
I still think Dawn of the Dead's best one is the best one.
I think Day of the Dead's the best one.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's what's good about it. With its cult classics, you can all have your own favourites and stuff. Oh, God.
Yeah, less said about like the follow-up trilogy, the better.
Land of the Dead. With the talking ones and the oh God, that's so bad.
But
Bunch of the Dead.
Yeah, my ultimate cult classic for me, and I've mentioned these before, but I've not really gone in. I don't think I've gone into full detail on them. I've just mentioned how much I love them. Is Demons 1 and 2?
Oh, you have mentioned Demons, the Italian ones.
I've mentioned Demons before, but so Demons are 1 and 2. I've
seen the first one.
Yeah, Italian horrors. They're directed by what's his name? Got it.
Bava.
Yeah,
Mario Bava's son who made them. Yeah,
Lamberto Bava, and they.
Yeah. We've got a cult connection there, guys. We've just done it. We've done it.
They are produced by Dario Argento as well.
Yeah,
and they are just absolutely batshit insane horror films.
First one's brilliant.
And they make no sense whatsoever, but they're just so much fun.
Now, if you want a connection, so I actually covered Demons 2 alongside Cronenberg's Cronenberg's Shivers and Poltergeist 3, because they all take place in their tower blocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is your the connection there. Yeah.
I watched Poltergeist
and the new Evil Dead
quite recently. Been gone through some horrors with my daughter, and we watched the first Poltergeist, and she wanted to watch the second two. So
they're here.
Done the third one recently, but yes, Demons is it's an Italian, but the dub. You want to watch it with the dubbed. Because
apparently that's I watch it because you told me to watch it in the dub.
I don't think
it's hilarious.
I don't actually think there's I've not seen or if there is actually
a subbed one.
An Italian version. I've only seen the version with the dub, and it's just hilarious. Like
it's funny as fuck.
The voiceovers are incredible. Tony the Pimp is one of my favorite characters of all time. He is so stereotypical, like of 80s and
what you doing, woman?
Yeah, basically, yeah. and he's just like, when he's like, they're trying to stop the film, and he's just like, smash everything, and he's just smashing everything. He tries to take charge, and but the whole point is, all these people get invited to this screening of this horror film, and while they're there, they get trapped inside a movie theater, and the kind of movie comes to life and infects them, and they all start turning into these demons who then, as they're bitten and scratched by the other demons, turn into demons themselves. But the demons are so gnarly and horrible, and it's that full-on like 80s
Cronenberg.
Yeah, like prosthetics where you see close-ups of the fingernails growing and popping. The demon fingernails pop out the original fingernails, and the teeth grow and push through the skin. It is incredible. Candy, you will love these films.
Candy, this is basic. That film's made for you, mate.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Absolutely. I love them. I've got them both on Blu-ray because I love them so much. I originally sat there and watched these with Craig Toohey, who, a guy I'd been on, and we sat in his apartment, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And he talked to me about these films before. He got back to me, he's like, we're going to watch Demons. have to sit and watch it with a friend and just have such a beaut time watching it because it is so much fun. And yeah, the guy who plays Bobby Rhodes, the guy who plays Tony the pimp, he's in Demons 2. So Demons 2 is kind of the same setup. I think
Come and watch another film.
I think actually Demons 2, someone's watching demons on the TV and the demon comes out of the TV and infects the tower block. I think
it's a TV report of what happened during the demons.
On the first one.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a TV report what happens then. And yeah, so everyone in this tower block gets infected and it just goes crazy. And he's back again, but he's a completely different character in this. He's a gym instructor. And it's just a scene of all these muscly men, all sweaty with no tops on, just like pumping iron and stuff in this gym. And
Candy's in.
it is incredible. And they have this big fight and shootout in the parking garage.
I'm going to watch 2 today. I'm going to watch it tonight.
And there's this little shit of a demon, little kid running around, just like he's like, like just oh man, it's.
I'm going to watch 2 tonight and then listen to Ian's podcast about it.
Yeah, look how gnarly. If you can see these, look how gnarly the Blu-ray covers
Oh,
are.
they're fucking grotesque.
Look at them.
They'd make excellent T-shirts.
Oh, I'm so in.
They are incredible, and I love them so much because they make no sense. The story goes nowhere. You aren't there for the story. You are just there for the demons running amok, killing people. I'm looking at the trailer here now for 2, and it's just guys running around in their tighty whities, all muscled up. Like it's great. Just picking up weights and throwing them at the demons. Love it. Yeah. So Demons 1 and 2 are, they're incredible.
Ideal.
I almost
brilliant.
I almost don't want you two to watch it. I think we should watch it on a pod meetup because it'd be.
Let's do it.
Watching it together in a group will be so much fun.
Cool. Gadget, what you got, man?
So I've got a handful of things here. First of all, just going with a couple of TV shows that I think very much early 2000s cult stuff. Mentioned in the Discord, Firefly, which, despite it being a Joss Whedon show, we will just go straight past that.
The better.
Yeah. Western in space, done really well. Nathan Fillion being charming as all fuck. Gina Torres kicking ass in tight pants. Alan Tudyk being an absolute sweetheart, very cute. Adam Baldwin being the psycho that he is. Yeah, fantastic. Really,
I love it.
I love the intro music. The Ballad of Serenity by Sonny Rhodes is so good.
Yep. I love the ship. The Serenity itself, the design of the ship.
Yep.
The design of the universe.
Yeah, I like
fashion.
it. Yeah, the fashion, the kind of the lore to it. The fact that, once you get out the central planets, it is like a Western. It's like frontiers town everywhere. Slightly
it's like going into the
deserty.
Badlands, isn't it?
Yeah. But then you get into the towns and it's like Blade Runner-y, high concept sci-fi with flying cars and
What
shit.
are the creatures called? The Reapers or
Reavers.
Reavers. They're scary.
Yeah, they were actually quite terrifying, those creatures. But it
wasn't there a problem with the TV series when it was aired that they put the episodes in the wrong order?
They did.
People didn't understand the show.
They did. They broadcast episodes 2 and 3 first, then the hour and a half long pilot.
Fucking idiot.
And they also played it at like 11 o'clock on a Friday night or something stupid, so it just never had an audience.
Oh no! Constantly moved around when it was. It was never on at the same time. And then they made 14 episodes and they cancelled it after airing 11 of them.
And they did the film. The film's great. Serenity's a great film.
Serenity's a great film as well.
With
Yeah.
Chiwetel Ejiofor as one of the best baddies on scene.
Oh, he's fucking terrifying in that film.
Yeah, so fucking good.
And I was pick. And as a teenager, I was quite in love with Jewel State as Kaylee.
Yeah, of course you were. You were allowed to.
Gorgeous.
Oh yeah, she was beautiful. Next TV show I've got is someone attempting to do another X-Files when they did Fringe.
Yeah, Fringe,
which is J.J. Abrams' attempted doing a kind of conspiracy monster of the week kind of thing.
Nowhere near as good as X-Files.
No, and didn't last anywhere near as long. It was only 5 seasons, which I thought they got to 7, but no, it was only 5 seasons. But it was well done. Anna Torv is great in it, as was Joshua Jackson, which was good for him because he really sucked in Dawson's Creek. It was nice for him to actually have something good.
I know him, but I just never watched it.
My first exposure to Lance Reddick as well. First thing I seen him in,
Oh, yeah.
as the government man.
That was a proper cult show because they had the Fringe Fest, didn't they? Where like 10 people turned up and stuff like that.
But it had an interesting mythology that ran through it. There was a kind of a long running concurrent storyline across seasons. It wasn't just like a season storyline. There was some mystery always in the background. And like,
was Mulder's sister abducted by aliens?
No. and
No, I was hooked on it.
And in classic J.J. Abrams style, they absolutely bins it in the last season and just goes to shit. But seasons 1 to 3 are fantastic.
Yeah.
I really recommend it. You can't watch it anywhere at the minute either. I don't think I haven't seen it.
I think you've got to rent it from Amazon, like $2.99 an episode. Or something
Abrams is
like
so
that.
good at like thinking up a really great mystery
and then leaving it,
and then not having any idea what that mystery actually comes to. Star Wars, this like he's just
all of them, everything he's ever done.
Yeah, he comes up with this great mystery, then he's like, I don't know
how to end it.
I don't know how to end it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone told him in like directing school or writing school or whatever. It's like, start at the end and work your way to the beginning. Don't do the
3-act structure.
Yeah, work out what you want your reveal to be, and then go back and work out the mystery.
I mean, Shakespeare did that, for fuck's sake. Come on.
Moving on to films now, I don't tend to watch a lot of kind of old films or horror films or anything like that, but there is one that I actually saw last year for another podcast guest appearance I was on. And I think this one qualifies as a cult classic because it's really well reviewed, it's completely incomprehensible at times, and it has it didn't do well financially.
Box office.
Yeah, box office, because it was a bit of an indie film. But Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Yes, I've seen it. It's good.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's a phenomenal film. It's fucking weird.
It is very weird.
And a little bit impenetrable at times, as you try to work out the kind of the two different timelines and the two different people in it. And then what the fuck spiders have got to do with anything. And fuck me, that ending scene where he walks to the door and there's a giant spider there. Ooh,
was it real? Was it in his head? We don't know.
Yeah. But it's one of those films that, despite how incomprehensible and obtuse it can be, I was gripped all the way through it. I genuinely think it's one of the best things Jake Gyllenhaal's ever done. Because he's
good in it.
He's basically on his own for most of that film, and he holds you to it. He holds you in every scene he's in. And especially the scene where he basically meets himself and they're kind of having this like dramatic conversation with each other. It's so good.
You think back to his filmography, though, apart from Prince of Persia, Jake Gyllenhaal does some absolute bangers, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's done a few stinkers over the years, I think.
Nightcrawler, that's really fucking good.
That might be that's probably a cult class.
The sci-fi one he did were really good as well. The
Source Code.
Source Code.
Yeah.
I fucking love Source Code.
He's
good. He's good. He's old Gyllenhaal. He's good. Good lad. Good kid. He's a good kid. I'm all here for him.
You're all there for him. Yeah. I mean, Donnie Darko was also a cult classic. That was his kind of breakout role.
Yep.
And then he got into The Day After Tomorrow, which I think was a bit of a mistake.
I forgot about that one.
The Dennis Quaid one.
Yeah. Good old
The world is freezing.
Yeah, good old Roland Emmerich films where science doesn't matter. The consequences are made up.
You know that it's going to be shite
classics.
if it's starring Dennis Quaid, don't you?
Oh, come on. He's done one good film. 2 maybe at a push.
and let's face it, he's better than Randy Quaid.
Well,
it's debatable. I'm on circles.
Randy Quaid saved the world.
Yeah, he did.
And he should have left it at that.
The Quaids.
The Quaid family, yes. Fucking weirdos. But yeah, I would really encourage anyone to see Enemy. I watched it when I did a run through of all the Denis Villeneuve films for when I was guesting on Sequelizers.
It's a Villeneuve film, isn't it? That's how I know it.
Yeah, it's
fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was like a Canadian Film Corporation supported thing, and it was like
the Film Institute.
A film festival darling of a film. But like I say, I think because it is so kind of weird, like if you watch a trailer for it, like a trailer kind of doesn't tell you anything about the film. So I don't think it doesn't. No. Plus, it was distributed worldwide by A24, which meant it probably came out here about 7 years after it was released elsewhere.
Yeah, they do that a lot, don't they?
But it only did 3.4 million at the box office.
That counts, mate. That
Yeah.
counts as a cult.
So
Candy's trying to grab Ian's cat.
Yeah.
yeah,
What's your cat called?
It's Ruby.
Oh, I love her.
she is a
Don't
crazy cat
know
lady.
her.
Just a cat. That's all that matters.
That's all you need.
Any more?
Yeah.
Any more there, Gadget?
Yeah, the last one I've got. I'm going into video games because I can't help myself. And I've talked about because I've been playing the remake recently, System Shock. One of the games that defined a style of video games in terms of the immersive sim. It took adventure games from what was kind of very basic and very static in like in the 80s and early 90s with like your ultimate games like dungeon crawlers like that, and gave it like a full open world to explore with multiple levels into the game, and you had to pay attention to what you were doing. It gave us one of gaming's greatest baddies in Showdown. But despite how kind of legendary and lionized it is, it came out a year after Doom and sold about 5% of what Doom sold.
Yeah. Good luck coming after Doom.
Yeah. So Doom sold, I think, in its first 2 years, something like 3 million copies.
Everyone had a copy of Doom.
Yeah. System Shock in its first year sold 170,000. Like,
Poor baby.
It did enough to keep the lights on at Looking Glass, and eventually they did another few games, and then System Shock 2 came out about 5 years later. But it's become this kind of legend of a game because it created the immersive sim, and it showed what you can do with a game where you can create this immersive environment to play in, rather than just having level after level after level after level. It created this whole space station that you had to explore. And it's since then gone on to inspire. Obviously, the BioShock games came as spiritual successors to that. That's when
and
it became.
You hate them as well.
I fucking love them. That's when they became mainstream. That style of game for me. But then you also have your Dishonored, Prey, like the Deus Ex games came much after this, and
I reckon the original
inspired
Deus
by
Ex was really inspired by System Shock.
Yeah, and the original Deus Ex was a hit. But
yes, because it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have existed without System Shock.
Agreed.
Because Warren Spector cut his teeth on this one. So, I think it's definitely a cult classic. And I'm really glad that people have kind of jumped onto the remake that came out this year. Because I finished it last week. It's fucking brilliant. I absolutely adored it. Very 90s game, though. Like, the gameplay is still kind of cult classic. You need to enjoy wandering around 90s style maps to get into that game. But yeah, it is an absolute classic, and like I say, it spawned so much of a genre. Yeah, Doom 1 year, which prioritized kind of high speed violence, and then you had System Shock, which was like first person kind of considered puzzling and exploration stuff.
Yeah.
Which, that's my jam.
Excellent. Biggie finishes off.
The
Okay,
Thing.
I've got a few.
Ice
One,
Pirate.
The Thing.
Lethal
Weapon.
one or two that you may or may not know. Nighthawks was a 1981
Nighthawks.
movie starring Sylvester Stallone and
I've
Billy
seen
D.
it. Love
Williams as anti-terrorist kind of detectives in New
Love
York,
it.
with Rutger Hauer as the main villain. It's batshit crazy,
It is.
dark thriller, which has quite possibly one of the funniest endings ever, and I beg you to go onto YouTube and watch the final scene because it's absolutely hysterical.
No, just watch the film. The film's great.
Yeah, the film's great, but the ending is really funny because I'm going to spoil it because I think it's just so funny. You have Rutger Hauer managing to evade everybody, but they manage to trick him into going into the apartment of the woman that he's after to try and kill. And he approaches her from behind as she's doing the dishes at the sink. She's completely unaware that Rutger Hauer's behind her, and he's about to kill her. Sylvester Stallone turns around with this crazy, perfect wig on, turns around with a gun, points it at Rutger Hauer.
me, did you?
And the best bit is, after he's turned round, you can see him clearly with his beard, and then he just slowly removes the wig, like, aha!
Hey, you didn't know what me, did you?
It's so funny.
I'm literally putting it on now because I need to see this.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's such a good movie, and a lot of people don't know about it. It doesn't get a lot of publicity,
I've mentioned
this
it to a few of my pals before. And they're like, "What the fuck? What's Nighthawks?" I'm like, "Get it fucking watched. It's great. it's just hard to find."
Literally, YouTube's coming out now. Buy or rent this film.
Ooh. Ooh.
Speaking of
you read
Rutger
it?
Hauer,
wow.
have you seen Hobo with a Shotgun? That's a cool.
Yes, I have. When he bends that man's arm around that arcade cabinet. Blech.
I love that Sylvester Stallone's character in this is called a Deke de Silva.
Yeah, Dick de
Deep
Silva.
to silver.
Big Deacon de Silva. Yeah, Big Deke.
Big Deke.
Hang
But
on,
you certainly
would he
couldn't
not
refer
like?
to-
I'm just
go on.
looking at this, watching this now.
Size of him.
Yeah, like
Yeah, this is the funny
Stallone's
thing.
like a big
He's
guy.
massive. And they're supposed to be a dainty woman.
Oh man, Rutger Hauer was a terrifying looking man.
And he's washing pots
Yeah.
and he's got hairy arms.
I got
Nice.
he's just fucking giant
Yeah.
beard on him.
It's so
Great,
good.
isn't it? And he's so serious as well. His face, like, I've got you.
That's fucking incredible.
amazing.
What else you got, mate?
Well, you can probably term Lord of the Rings trilogy as cult classics maybe in the future because they're just amazing movies anyway. But if you go back to Peter Jackson's early movies, particularly
Yes.
Bad Taste,
Bad taste.
if
Yeah.
anyone has ever seen that, just
Yes.
absolutely
Awful.
hysterical. And it's incredible when you see something like that and think that he went on to make such incredible
It's
movies.
just,
but
Bad Taste looks like it's filmed with a camcorder.
Because it was.
it pretty much was. It's with his friends.
Fucking
It's
shite.
just
I love it.
a crazy
The big alien
movie with
things.
really
It's Blood Fart
funny
Lake levels of
effects.
production quality.
No, it's not that
It
bad.
has,
Blood
but
Fart Lake was filmed
it's
on
well
a
worth a
Sony
watch.
Walkman phone.
It's a poor movie, but it's entertaining in its own
Yeah,
right.
I like
And he
it.
also did Meet the Feebles, which is a bit like If the Muppets was made by us. And then
Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
there's one more that he did. I've forgotten the name of it now. It was Brain Dead. So there was a trilogy of movies that came from Peter
I never
Jackson,
saw
which,
Brain Dead. I know of it, though.
It's funny. It's, again, horror, slapstick, zombies. It's really crazy, but well worth a watch just to see, again, where he came from. But we've mentioned it before on this pod, but I wanted to give another shout out to Society.
I was just thinking that when I saw, I was looking at Brain Dead here and I saw the stretched face, and instantly the first thing I thought of, I should have mentioned Society. That
Yeah.
fucking ending. Woof.
It's just. I still recommend anyone to watch Society. It's such a batshit crazy body horror movie, but it's funny. It had a point to make about the 80s and yuppie society, upper class. It's just, it's mad,
it
but
just-
it's a great film.
The last 20 minutes, you're like,
Just go where you do not expect this film to
it's
go.
not- you kind of think you know where this film is going and what.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking, I know what's going on with these high society folk and what's happening here. It's some kind
Yeah.
of cult. It's this. This is going to happen. I'm not going to spoil it, but fuck me,
No.
this does not go where you think it's going to go at all, and it's incredible. Candy, you'll love it.
It's still one of the
You have to
greatest
watch it.
reveals
There you
ever.
go. Watch that one
Yeah.
instead tonight. Don't watch
Okay.
Demons. Watch Society.
Oh God,
I know I'm
It's a
preparing you
classic.
for an ending there, but
it's on the list.
Which
especially
stars
on the
Billy
list.
Warlock, who was in, what was that surfing show? The lifeguard one on TV. I've forgotten the bloody name of it now.
Baywatch.
Baywatch, yes.
Surfing
Surfing
show. The
show.
surfing show Baywatch.
I
Are you
was,
fucking
I was getting
insane?
there slowly.
That show's
There were
about
people
Pamela Anderson
surfing
running
in the
into the
background.
water. Not about
They
surfing.
saved surfers. So technically, on the technicality,
Once.
I'm correct. And
Is that all
finally, I wanted
yours,
to
mate?
finish.
Oh, go on.
I wanted to finish on a video game. It was one that Oodles mentioned in the Discord, but I love it, and it's a crazy game as well. Sleeping Dogs. It's very
So good, isn't it?
GTA-esque.
It just couldn't
type
compete
game,
with
but-
GTA, could it?
No, but it was a trouble game. It went through various different names. It was part of the True Crime series and all that. But the actual martial arts and fighting in it is very Batman, Arkham Asylum.
There's not
sort of.
many
of
games set
fighting.
in modern China. I think that's what sets it apart.
Yeah, and they spent a lot of detail. They went around the streets and filming locations, getting
It's Hong
sound
Kong,
effects
isn't it?
from the streets.
If I
Yeah,
remember
it's Hong Kong, yeah.
correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it's
Kinda
fantastic.
China.
It's a great game. Loved it. It's even got DLC where you can sort of reenact Into the Dragon.
there's a zombie one,
as a
isn't there? There's a
tournament.
zombie DLC.
There's a zombie
where
one
everyone's
as
a zombie.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
yeah, I love it.
If you've not
The
played that,
martial
play that.
arts
There's
and
a
action.
PS4 remaster, isn't there? Which
Think
is really
so.
good.
Yeah, in fact, it looks very good. It looks
It
quite
does.
stunning, actually.
Yeah, it does. It looks a lot.
Extra boost that it gets.
Yeah, I recommend that to a lot of people that like to go around Hong Kong shooting everybody. Go for it. Have we got any feedback at all?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have a few. That F King guy is starting us off with cult classics. Well, how about these? So he's got a little list. Tank Girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Not sure this one qualifies as a classic, but we'll go with it. Barbed Wire.
Oh, it's a classic.
I watched that for different reasons.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that's just a pair of tits. The film.
Why I watched that as
she
a young teenage boy.
Pamela Anderson were unstoppable then. Unstoppable.
Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Monkey Bone.
Don't know what Monkey Bone is.
No,
Sounds like a porno.
Is-
I would say I'm a
that,
bit scared to Google it.
Isn't that Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Monkey Bone.
Yeah.
Ah,
heard the name.
I've never seen that.
Yes, it is. Brendan Fraser, based on a graphic novel.
Oh. I am at a loss.
In a coma, a cartoonist finds himself trapped within his own underground creation and must find a way to get back, whilst racing against his popular but treacherous character, Monkey Bone.
No wonder he likes it. He's a cartoonist himself.
Yeah.
Projecting him.
And the last one he's put in here, which I'm going to give you the deep dive on this guy's IMDb because he sounds fucking incredible. Radioactive Dreams, or any of the Payan films. So Albert Payan, the director, who pioneered apparently the cyborg subgenre.
He did.
And is considered to be a maverick and renegade in independent genre cinema. Some of these ones are pure candy fodder. Going back, I mean, Radioactive Dreams.
They did Van Damme's Cyborg. That was classic. That.
Yeah. So the synopsis for Radioactive Dreams, which is what that F King guy provided, was: after a nuclear war, Philip Hammer and Marlowe Chandler have spent 15 years on their own in a bunker stuffed with junk from the 40s and old detective novels. Now 19 years old, they leave their shelter to find a world full of mutants, freaks, and cannibals. They become famous detectives in the struggle for the two keys that could fire the last nuclear weapon. I mean, that's
banging.
Wow.
That's got candy written all over it. He
Yeah.
also did the 1990 Captain America film.
He did. And he did the Albert Pyun did the what's it called? Aliens Gone Wild, which one of the lowest ratings of all time. If you've not seen Aliens Gone Wild, don't.
He's also got such seminal titles as Alien from LA in 1988.
Yeah.
Kickboxer 2, The Road Back in 1991, and also Blood Match that same year in 1991, and Dollman. In fact, he was busy in 1991. He did a film in 1993 called Brain Smasher, A Love Story.
I'm beautiful.
I got Candy's attention. He did the Nemesis films. I think there's a trilogy. Yeah, there's a trilogy. No, there's a quadrilogy of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nemesis is.
Omega Doom in 1996. I mean, the guy's the guy's unstoppable. Urban Menace.
A peek into Dean's mind, this, isn't it?
It really is. Sci-Fi Slaughter.
Yep.
And his most recent film was 2018 Death Head's Brain Drain.
Oh. I forgot about that.
Absolute
Those sound like
garbage.
album titles.
One of his films is called Interstellar Civil War, and I don't think that works like grammatically. How do you have a civil war across star systems? But yeah, the guy sounds like a fucking lunatic, but credit to him. Apparently he's won awards for it. But yeah, that's very much Dean, that isn't it? Weird, horrific sci-fi. Moving on, Nimrod Hicks has suggested Crime Wave, the 1985 movie directed by Sam Raimi and co-written by him and the Coen brothers, featuring Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Great. Really good.
Speaking of, like, again, bringing up Craig again, he's talked to me about this film before, and he
said it on the pod, didn't he?
absolutely loves it, yeah. And
It's great.
Bruce Campbell said it escaped. It was never released.
Super Natty Cat has said, okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm doing it. Mean Girls.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Classic cult movies like Wayne World's Breakfast Club, Pulp Fiction, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they're awesome, but I grew up watching modern cult films. And I would say Mean Girls is the absolute tits.
On Wednesdays, I think.
It never fails to cheer me up if I stick it on. I think the word cult gets thrown around a lot, but I would say it applies to films that are insanely memorable, quotable, and underappreciated at the time. I mean, Mean Girls.
Trying to make fetch happen.
I mean, Mean Girls even has merch being sold in Primark and stationery with the classic quotes on it. If you haven't seen it, I would say it's the most accurate depiction of my high school in the 2000s, and it's ludicrously funny.
What the fuck did she go to high school? She's Welsh.
Where did you go to high school? She's Welsh.
She didn't go to fucking LA high school like the Mean Girls.
And the girls around her weren't in their 20s.
No, they weren't Lindsay Lohan either. God
So
almighty.
she's
She's
got
got a
Llewellyn.
dream world, that girl.
she's got a list of her favourite quotes.
Lindsay Llewellyn, did you just
Yeah.
You fucking killed me. You killed me.
Well, that's the
insane.
pod title. Lindsay Llewellyn.
Lindsay Llewellyn. That was fucking genius. You're a comedy genius, Candy.
She's provided some favourite quotes, which I'm going to read out verbatim because I haven't seen the film, so I don't know how to say these.
Oh, God.
You go, Glen Coco.
Yeah. You go, Glen Coco.
She doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
If you're white, if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Yeah.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah.
Boo, you whore.
Yeah.
This one I do know this one because I think Pip shouted it at someone before. It's not my fault I have a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a known one.
And lastly, is your
People
muffin
on the back
buttered?
of cars.
Yeah. It is a good film, and it's the best
Great.
high school comedy of its ilk. But it's not for high school kids, is it, Mean Girls? It's more for adults in a way. It's not an adult film. It's just a bit edgy.
Yeah.
I love it. Great.
You got
Fair
to
enough. Last up, Angry Kurt said, I have a few cult classic films that are favourites of mine, but never heard them talked about. The first is First Reformed, which I think only Stig has seen out of you all. I spoke about it before, but please watch it.
Okay. Will do.
The next up are two films with animals in the title, American Animals and Nocturnal Animals. The former is based on a true story about a heist performed by some kids, and the second is a great thriller starring Nicole Kidman and Jake Gyllenhaal, which has one of the tensest opening sequences I've seen committed to screen. I'm telling you, Jake Gyllenhaal,
Nocturnal Animals is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. And again, like you said, Gyllenhaal again, he's my boy.
Yeah. In the realm of video games, my choice would be Catherine. A superb game by the Persona team, all about a guy cheating on his girlfriend, and features some really unique block pushing and pulling gameplay. I actually really loved, although some people didn't like that element to it. It was a very pervy game.
There's no titties in it.
No, and not really any.
They're all adults in it as well.
Yeah, there's none of the nonsense that goes on from the
I know,
Persona games.
I just like winding people up.
No, but it is a very highly sensed game.
You see a lot of knickers in it.
Yeah. A shout out also to a PS2 game called Downhill Domination, which was basically SSX but with mountain bikes.
Oh.
Why would you play that when the SSX existed?
I've been seeing rumblings on the internet that suggesting that they should do a SSX Tricky remaster, and I kind of want it.
I'm in for it. I'm all about getting EA on the blower now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
EA big.
Kurt works for them. Tell him to sort it.
Fucking sort it out,
What
Kurt.
was that? What was that X-rated BMX game? Was it BMX XXX?
XXX.
Yeah, that was shite,
that was
mate.
terrible. That was really
Did you buy it,
BMX
did you?
Bandits.
I
Did you
rented
buy
it
it,
from
Biggie? How would you know it
Blockbusters.
would be bad?
Didn't Activision?
I've not played it. I just remember everyone saying
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
really
the same as the Dave Mirror or the Matt Hoffman people.
They
it's
tried
like
to
Same
that.
engine.
basically Tony Hawk, but with BMX bikes in there.
Yeah.
Prostitutes on BMX bike.
Yeah. Just to finish off with Kurt, he says, in TV, there's my beloved Mindhunter, which again I've spoken about before, so I will say Designated
Fuck you,
Survivor.
Netflix.
Designated Survivor, bro.
A show that
That's
Oodles
what I'm
introduced me
talking about.
to. It's a really good American political drama thriller starring Kiefer Sutherland as the US president.
The daddy.
Each series has an overlying plot, but each episode has a problem of the week to solve. Despite its politics, actually an easy watch. It can be quite heartwarming. Yeah, Designated Survivor is great.
I fucking loved it, and Netflix cancelled it like dickheads.
Did they cancel it?
Oh. Yeah, well, they've not officially said it's cancelled, but it's been about 5 fucking years, mate. What do you think?
Yeah. Same
and
technically
loved
with
it.
Mindhunter, they never said it's cancelled. It's just
Yeah.
there, but it is
Oh, no.
cancelled.
Designated
No, no, no,
Survivor is
no.
such a...
On July 24th, 2019, Netflix announced the series would not be renewed for a fourth season. stating that the third season made for a satisfying final season. However, Netflix will continue to stream all 3 seasons on their platform.
The thing is, right, imagine that if you don't know what the synopsis is, everyone in Congress has died apart from Kiefer Sutherland, so he has to become the president. It's such a good premise for a show.
I mean,
he doesn't want to be president.
The premise is, and it is a real thing in American politics.
It's a real thing.
When you have the State of the Union in America, when the president basically gives you an update on how he's doing the country, someone from the governing party is randomly not invited to it in case there is an attack on Congress, which kills the entire government. There needs to be someone to be the president. Because of those things, it's the president, the vice president, everyone in line is there.
So good.
It's a bit like King Ralph.
It is a bit, yeah. And like Kiefer Sutherland's guy was like a congressman. He was an
environmentalist as well.
Yeah, like he wasn't a particularly important
education.
He wasn't an important guy.
Department of Plants or something.
I think someone worked out that he was like 188th in line for the presidency or something like that.
He was ready to retire as well. And it's just such a good show, and Kiefer Sutherland's amazing in it.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking so good. Well done for bringing that. I'm going to watch it again. Is that everybody?
That is everybody, yeah.
Excellent. So, as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in our show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. Next week will be a Nexus episode. We'll probably be talking about Oppenheimer and Barbie ad nauseum. Ian, this is your opportunity to plug your wares, mate. Thank you for being on the show as well.
Oh, you are very welcome. Thank you for rigging the vote so that it landed in my favour.
I don't know if we rigged it or not. I mean, that's speculation.
Cut that.
So the podcast is Cult, the Connections. There is another one which I've kind of merged. So there is the Banter Liberation there front where I review
Star Wars.
Mostly Star Wars, however, coming up next week, I will be joined by Joe Higgins, and we are covering Futurama. So
nice.
So for the next few weeks, we will be the Bender Liberation Front, which will be good fun. And but
are you doing that concurrent with the new show?
Yes. Well, that's what I'm hoping
Perfect.
to. Yeah.
Perfect. I'll be tuning in.
However, latest episode, absolutely brilliant one as well. It's called 42. I am joined by Kevin John Davies, who has edited a new book. He has been given access to the Douglas Adams's archive at the Cambridge University.
Now,
so this book comes out in August. The Kevin knew the Douglas, they're personally. So he comes on. He shares a couple of snippets from the book and some of his favorite stories about the Douglas Adams as well. He's been on the show there previously, and he's brilliant. His stories are just fantastic. So
tune in. Are you on any socials there?
Twitter mostly. So you will find me at Connections, their cults. So it's they change around there. I have got a Facebook page which I update about once every 3 months. Or I'm on. No, honestly, literally, I really do. And,
I don't think we've got a Facebook account, have we?
No, we don't.
Didn't bother with that.
And I am on their threads at the moment, which is a bit they're dull, but
barren.
I'll try my best with it.
Yes, we'll put all the links into a show notes as well for you, Ian. But yes, before you do go though, Ian, we've got a little trip now into a segment that we affectionately call Candyland. What's the full title?
What's up in Candyland?
What's up in Candyland? It's a new segment where Candy, up there,
mental
the lady, she just spurts out mental diarrhea for a minute or two. So
Brilliant.
Take it away.
And now, what's up in Candyland?
It's a good one this week. So you might have noticed whilst we've been recording, little bit under the weather. I've been struck
No way.
down with the Barbenheimer Rona, I think. If you're gonna listen, guys, if you're gonna go to the cinema, please don't have the Rona. I've been struck down in the prime of life.
Yep.
I've been trying very hard to get rid of a fever all day, but I have to tell you, it led to some fucking awesome dreams earlier. So, proper fever dream. This is one of my classics. I drifted off and I was in a Brian Blessed versus Tom Jones concert. So there's like 2 stages either side, and it was like a boom off. It was a bombast off. I think what was probably happening was I just had a really bad headache.
Yeah,
but it did.
And those gentlemen are the antithesis of if you've got an headache, you don't want to be near them both.
They couldn't send it like they couldn't sing a baby to sleep, could they? Really?
No.
Like that's not who you want singing yourself a lullaby. So, although it did inspire me to make a playlist, so we've got Static X Cold, Johnny Cash Ring of Fire, Disturbed Get Down with the Sickness, Bring Me the Horizon Parasite Eve, Elvis Presley Fever, Snot, Bee Gees Staying Alive, Motley Crue Dr. Feelgood, Blue Oyster Cult Don't Fear the Reaper, Ramones I Want to Be Sedated, Queens of the Stone Age Sick Sick Sick, The Mac Lads Sweaty Betty, Katy Perry Hot and Cold, Slipknot Sick. And I will tell you that the playlist is available on Spotify. You need to search Now That's What I Call a Cold Volume 1. And that's Candyland.
Oh, what an excellent journey into Candyland that was. And this is the end of the show. If you are a patron, you will join us in the green room in a second. But for everyone else, this has been a podcast. Thank you very much, Ian. You've been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honour.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been brilliant.
Good.
Thanks,
So to
buddy.
everyone else, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
That was your cue to clap as well, Ian.
All right. There we go.
It's fine. I'll work it out. I can do it off the camera.
See, I'm not
But
the
I
worst.
didn't realise we had to join in on the clap.
Yes, that's why we were all doing it.